give YouTube time to notify the people who have notifications turned on. We're going to put on the MAC Lip Glass Cushion in Slippery. It is described as a mid-tone pink with pearl, and it is a high pigment lip oil, it says. But for because my lips have a natural color, it just doesn't give a color. The darker ones do add color to my lip, and they are really pretty. But and I did take this with me and wear this when I was out earlier. So hello, and my name is Dion. I call this channel Hey Janet, the Crazy Troll Nation of YouTube. Why do I call it that? The crazy is knowing it's okay to be your authentic self in a world where people will tell you who and how you should be. The audacity of it all. The troll part is not caring too much about the beauty community standards. You set the standard for yourself. Try not to feel like you need to use a certain brand, tool, or technique, because that's what they're telling you in the video that you're watching. Ow. I'm here to tell you, wear whatever you want to with whatever tools that you want to use and whatever techniques to get your makeup on in a way that you are satisfied with it. Here at the Crazy Troll Nation, we believe in self-acceptance and self-love, embracing our natural features, enhancing them if we want to, when we want to, never feeling like we have to. Love yourself for who you are and for how you look. Hey Alexandria, even when you're not wearing face paint, because us trolls are just friggin' adorable. Look at my face. Trolls are adorable. Two things about me. One is I curse sometimes because I curse sometimes. Two is there's an organism named Bruce that lives in my throat that randomly hiccups, gurgles, and belches in videos. I try to be aware of him to say excuse me. If you hear something and I don't say excuse me, excuse Bruce, I wasn't aware at that time for whatever reason. Thank you for the floating heart. Today, y'all, those are all the brushes that we used in last night's live stream. All of those we used in last night's live stream. Every single one of them. I washed them today. That is insane. So that's why I have a lot of brushes, because I'll be using every single one of them. And some of them are tripled up, the thinner ones, because they're too small to just hang in there by themselves. Every single one of those we used for last night's look. Yeah. Yes, Alexandria. That's a lot. that's a lot. And so when I was watching them and putting them away again, I'm like, oh my gosh. There was one other time when I filled that up too. I was just like, wow. And the look didn't even look like it would be all of that. Every single one. We used those last night. Tonight, we are circling back to an anonymous request to rank what's my number one palette in each brand. I kept the list here of the ranking because I don't think it's going to make sense. Like something might rank my number one that when we rank them off 33 that didn't rank high on the list. And so it's going to be interesting. And here down is what I wrote. Excuse me. Hey Janessa, my Goth, Grunge, and Vampy palettes, because then we're going to rank these separately. That was Nina's request. And so, hey Nina! And so, that's what we're doing. My tan palette came in. If you saw my post, leave a comment over there. I did schedule a swatch party. I did schedule the Pride Look Live that Janessa and I are doing here. She's going to schedule the second one that we're going to do on her channel. On her channel, we're going to do a bingo, and mine is just regular, not regular, but looks that we wanted to do for Pride without any restrictions. And I scheduled my Juneteenth look, and so I just need to go back and do all the background stuff for that. So this month is looking crazy in my calendar. So we're going to start with, I just shifted things on my table over here so that my palettes are right here, so I can take out each brand. We're not going to rank the whole brand again. We're just going to go through what my number one palette is for each brand. Hopefully this will be quick. I had that 10 a.m. appointment today. Y'all see my eyes, right? I am tired. I didn't even doze off until like 20 minutes ago. So this whole day was just long, and second wind was coming from somewhere, but it was a very productive day. So it was a good choice not to do a look We're going to do the easy ones first because some I only have one or two. I did declutter. I'm not even sure if I mentioned it last night. I decluttered two of my lethal BYOPs. And so the only two I have left is Anxiety and 669. Cryptic, we only have one from Jolie Beauty. So this is my number one palette from Jolie Beauty because it's the only one. So that was really easy. What else do I only have? Like a couple of... Oh, we only have one Selim Cosmetics Grunge palette. Selim Cosmetics palette. This is Grunge Life. So this is number one for Sale of Grunge. I did mention about me and Michelle's collab with the Grunge palette. That palette is popping up everywhere in your feed lately. The Selim Cosmetics one? The Cryptic palette? This one? I really like it. I really like that we were able to do so much with this for the I don't want to say face paint because it wasn't, but the face part of the look, the brown, the black, the gray, that was a lot of fun. And I liked that it was all in here. And so I was thinking, oh, Makeup by Mario, I only have one from his brand, so this is my number one palette from him, because I was really thinking that this would be a repurchase for me because of these shades here, but using this one for all of that, this might be it. And we did use some of these shades. What look was that we did? I forget. But we did venture over here, and then we did use that shade. And so excuse me, I do really like this palette, though. The formula is solid. The formula is solid. But I was thinking this would be a repurchase. But because the blacks and more gray options and brown options in here, like this might also be a troll play palette once this one finally dies. Nothing in here is looking like it's tired yet, and the PAO was reached October 17, 2025, and it's still going strong. So this is number one for him. Grunge Life is number one from Selim Cosmetics. Cryptic is my number one from Jolie Beauty. So we're doing the easy stuff first. We only have three Pat McGrath Labs palettes. We have Subversive, Mothership number 3, Moonlit Seduction, Mothership number 10, and Gilded Nirvana, this one. I'm going to work on getting more looks out of here, because I remember saying whatever I do, I only end up with like 2.5 looks as far as like really looking different. But we're going to work on that. So my first instinct was to say this was my number one, but this for me is a companion palette. If I put down, you know, a red, top it to make it more bold, put down the purple, put this on, make it more shiny. So I don't really want to say this is my number one palette, hey Grace, because it's a companion for me. It's not a standalone, which leaves me with Moonlit Seduction and Subversive. This one is hard. This is hard. We're going to go with Moonlit Seduction. Let me see where that placed when we did our ranking, because I missed it. I didn't so much as miss Subversive than just really wanting it again because of all this smoke right there. And so even though this is my vibe, when I didn't have this one, I missed not having it. And so we're going to go with this one. I'm going to try not to think too much, because then I'll drive myself nuts. So where did this rank when we did our 33 palette ranking? This ranked, oh gee, where are you? This ranked, where did you rank? This ranked number 10 out of the 33 palettes that we had. This ranked number 10, but this is my number one Pat McGrath palette because I missed it. I just need to get more looks out of it, and I don't even really know like what about it, because it kind of looks basic in a way, you know what I mean? So it's kind of strange, especially up against smoke. Y'all know I like to smoke. And so, yeah, some of this isn't gonna make sense. So this ranked 10, and actually Subversive ranked lower than that. Subversive ranked 18. Questioning my life choices here. Do we want to divide Notoriously Morbid side from Spellcast Beauty side as two different brands? Oh, hey, Sons Array. I had a member request to rank my number one in each brand that I have. So do we want to separate out Notoriously Morbid from Spellcast Beauty, since it is two different sides, even though technically it is one brand? You know what I mean? So that's the question for that. And while I'm giving y'all time to answer that, we're going to rank Lethal. Now again, I only have 2 Lethal left, and you can probably guess which one is going to be number one. So we have the 669 dupe left, which is a dupe. You would separate them out so you can get 2 faves. I like the way you think, Janessa, because I'm sitting here like, if I do that all together. And this is the Anxiety palette. I did switch them up again, as you can tell, because we have the 2 UV reactive here. But I do think it fits with this palette. Those being bold shades, which they don't show up that bold, but against these dual chromes and these darker shades. So I do like how this turned out. And some of the shades were duplicate to other stuff, and some were very similar. And so it wasn't as difficult as I thought to go through and be like, okay, what am I going to take out? Excuse me for smacking. But 669, Lethal dupe. This is my number one for Lethal. My number one for Lethal. And so we just have Notoriously Morbid, Max, Spellcast Beauty, and Natasha, and y'all, and that's it. And then, hey, Big Jack, you have a question. I have a question. My question is, what's your question? And let it be something nice and polite and respectful, please. I did go off on somebody today. Y'all, everything that happened today, the timing was eerie because it was so perfect. While I was at the leasing office, went off on what I call incompetent little miss. One of the maintenance guys was in here, and so he went in the kitchenette area, and I saw him go on his phone. So I'm like, okay, let me talk softer because he's on the phone, and I didn't want them hearing me. And so when he got off the phone, he said, I was going to say my apartment number. He said, you're such and such number. I said, yeah. He said, HVAC will be here Thursday to measure. And he ran down the whole process. He said it's a 4-day process. So they're going to measure the space where the unit goes. Then they have to measure the space they have for ductwork. And then they're going to take that out, put holes in the wall to take out the ductwork so they can put in the new ductwork and all of that. So he said it's a 4-day process. But they'll be here to measure Thursday, and then they'll order it. And once it comes in, they'll come back and do all of that. Yeah, so that was just, good timing too. That he happened to come into the office when I was in there. You love the color stories you made with your Lethal palettes. I used to have like 9 of these, and now I'm just 2. And all of them were so pretty. So we're going to do MAC next, because I only have 4 MAC palettes. I was thinking about this one. Let me see where Lethal ranked. Lethal ranked number 7. The Lethal dupe ranked number 7 in the list of 33. Excuse me. Big Jack, what's your question, man? So we have these. Y'all know I'm always recommending these. When MAC has a sale, these are the MAC Connecting Color, Unfiltered Nudes, Future Flames, and Hi-Fi Color. I recommend these when MAC has a sale or when Ulta has a 20% off coupon code that includes Prestige. Telling you, get them. And what am I thinking I said we have 4 MAC, right? And the Pride palette. Pride is still going to be at the bottom because there's more satiny than would you rather watch a tree grow? Well, it depends on what the other options are. Would you rather watch a tree grow? And watch it rather than watch what else? Like that I need more information. Um so that's still lower because I do love the palette. I do. I love what it stands for. I love the packaging. I do love the colors. There's not really any metallics in there. It's either satins or the mattes, but the formula is solid. And I can get dark looks out of there, but I have to be strategic because even though some of them look dark, if they're metallics, they show up as satins. So it's not giving me that, you know what I mean? So that leaves us with these three. And I was thinking about this earlier, and believe it or not, I would pick Future Flames. Even though unfiltered nudes would be a lot of people's everyday look. You can do your smoky, you can do your glam, you know, one and dones, like that type of thing. And this is just a fun one. This is just a fun one. This is just fun. And it puts me in the mind of the Gilded Nirvana. Somewhat wants to remind me of Circle Loco, but it's not, but just as far as it being colorful. And so this isn't going to be the number one either, believe it or not. Surprising to me. And Hi-Fi Color ranked number 5. What did this rank? I'm looking on the list. I'm glad I kept this paper here. This ranked, oh no, I also have my 2 BYOPs. I was thinking I had more MAC than that. This is Trolls Just Want to Have Fun, because a fun palette, and looking at the color story is reminiscent of Hi-Fi Color that I just showed you, but it just has more shades in it. And also the Gilded palette is reminiscent of that too. So it's like I have 3 of the same palette almost. And I didn't even realize it till after, well, when I was putting this together, I sent someone a picture and they was like, oh, that looks like the Gilded palette. And I said, you know what? Damn, like you're right. This one, I am on the verge. This is Trolls Just Need to Chill. So after we done went to the party and have fun, now we're chilling. I'm on the verge of decluttering this one too. I love MAC's formula. I'm just waiting for this one to crack up and just fall the hell out. And I do love these colors in here. What would you compare the MAC formula? I've never heard of MAC anything. So you probably wouldn't know this other brand either. Back in the day, like back in 2004, when I started wearing makeup, and my goal was have a foundation that matches me, because I always felt like, why put on eyeshadow, why put on lipstick when my skin is uneven? And I don't mind the freckles. I don't mind the freckles, but like this right here, like, girl, what is that? And then back then, my discoloration under my eyes was darker than it is now. And so I felt like, why, like, put on eyeshadow and your complexion's not clear, lipstick, and my complexion is, well, not clear, but even. And so I went into Bare Minerals. They couldn't match me, and they was mixing up powders. They couldn't match me. And I'm just like, and I went to department stores. Fashion Fair couldn't match me. They sent me to Bobbi Brown. That was just cakey. So I was just like, what the hell? So somebody said, well, just try Sephora. I said, what's Sephora? Yes, 2004. And I'm like, what's Sephora? And so it is one in the mall. And they matched me to a brand called Stila Cosmetics. You hear about them every now and then, but they're just not. Ulta still sells a few of their things. I don't even know if they still have their website. But I was matched to their foundation, and I'm like, ooh. And so then, because I like the foundation, because it matched me, let me see what else they have. I really like their eyeshadows. And so I had a lot of their eyeshadows. They had some singles. You can do BYOPs. They had some pre-mades. And so I was wearing their blushes, eyeshadows, yada, yada, yada. And I was asking on YouTube, like, what other brand, you know, should I try? And someone said to me, well, someone commented and said, because you really like Stila's formula, I think you would like the Velux Pearl formula from MAC Cosmetics. And so that's my only comparison point. And I know that probably means nothing because Stila isn't like how it was. except their kitten highlighter, because it was like a really brassy gold type highlighter that everybody was like, ooh. Um, but from what I have in my stash, there's nothing in my mind that really compares. And so I'm looking at what I have, and like it doesn't really compare. I kind of want to say some of Natasha Denona, like some of her metallics. Maybe some of Natasha's metallics. And that's kind of like the only thing I can think of. Because to me, it is a different formula. And this one is starting to crack too. Crack up here. But I am on the verge of decluttering this one. And I do like the colors. I really do. Oh, in my Macquarie, I put everything on sale. And then and so the sale stuff is either like it's 15 to like 28% off, depending on the item. And then somebody gonna send an offer for less than that, and I'm like, I just put it on sale yesterday, and that one was like 28% off, and now you want more of a discount. So I sent her back a counter offer, and as far as I know, she didn't buy it. But I'm just like, I know money's hard, but this is rough for most of us, like me included. So like, anyway. So looking at this now, because those two look like they want to crack, but her metallic formula, like these shades, this one, this is from Pat McGrath, this is Illuminati. It's the solid formula. It really is. But I'm on the verge of decluttering it. So we're left with Trolls Just Want to Have Fun. That's not going to be number one because we have other similar palettes. It's going to be Future Flames. And Future Flames, that ranked, this is not going to make any sense. Unfiltered News ranked number 2 out of 33. But that's not my number one for MAC. This is not going to make any sense. This ranked number 16. And what had happened was, that's when you know somebody about to make up something. When they say what had happened was instead of what happened, is I was looking through my pictures. This palette, I can do light ethereal looks, I can do smoky looks, I can do vampy looks, and the looks that I was looking at in my gallery, I'm like, damn, I had forgot that this can do all that. And there was one smoky look in particular that I was like, ooh, And I think it's because this is an older formula, and because with all the indie stuff, it's all about the high shine, shimmer, and MAC is just like chilling in the back. And to me, it is just like, I'll say it's a classic formula, meaning that these days, stuff is either flaky, glittery, it's soft, it falls out, it's messy, it's high shine, where MAC is just, we here and we're going to show up and we're going to do what we came to do without a bunch of shenanigans. You know what I mean? And so, and keep in mind too, I don't wear a lot of indie because my lids don't tolerate pressed pigments, and a lot of indie brands and even some non-indie brands, they use pressed pigments instead of regular eyeshadow. And so I'm limited in what I can compare stuff to because there's a lot that I cannot use. It's a different ranking. That's enough explanation for me at least. And that's why I titled it something like Make It Make Sense, because I knew it wasn't. But because of the different looks I can do with this, I can go in a lot of different directions with this. And as far as like Unfiltered Nudes, Glam palette is similar to that. So I think too, because I don't have a palette similar to this color story. So now that I'm thinking of it more, I'm thinking that might be what it is too. Whereas, we have a fun palette. We have Gilded. We have Circle Loco. Do we have something like this? No. So I'm thinking that's why. And when I saw the looks, I'm like, okay, we did it. Okay. All right, now this stuff is falling over. So I'm going to put some stuff back. So we just have Natasha Denona. My back has been hurting. I've been very active today. It's been a busy day. Yo, my back And my hip, particularly my right hip, is not happy with me today. Not at all. So I'm taking out the Notoriously Morbid and Spellcast Beauty. And we're going to put back some of the ones we're going to talk about. So we're not even going to do like a recap. And I was up all day. And then like 20 minutes ago, I dozed off. And then my alarm went off for my 7:45 alarm went off. And I'm just like, yo, I've been up since like 9:30 this morning. And I only had like 2 hours of sleep. I'm like, how am I even still awake? Like, what? Went to Main Dish. Y'all, they are all the way back. They're Jamaican food. Oh my gosh. I'm going to eat a little bit more before I go to sleep. I'm just trying to prop this stuff up because it don't want to be propped. Yeah, but I'm really on the verge of giving this away because I keep thinking about it. Just like some of them other palettes I had. It just kept coming to my mind like, yeah, okay, let that go. But was this over here or on the other side? No. No. This was on this side. Okay. So we're separating out Notoriously Morbid from Spellcast Beauty. Where am I gonna? No, I did not. Last time I did. So I wanted to get different today. So I got curry goat and jerk chicken. Of course, peas and rice and cabbage. Y'all, oh my gosh. As soon as I got in the car, my car smelled so good from the food in the bag that was tied up. I was just like, oh gosh. And unlike the other place I went to where I was saying the cabbage wasn't even seasoned, because cabbage, it is like a light green, yellowish color. When you season it, especially if the seasoning has some red in it, or if you're using turmeric, it'll take on the color of the seasonings you use. That other place, that cabbage just looked like cabbage. Ain't have near no seasoning in it nowhere. This place, man, that cabbage has a kick, and y'all know I like spice. I was just like, oh, yes. The jerk, the spice hits you. The curry, ooh, oh my gosh. So, oh, this is going to be easy. I feel kind of weird in a way. Is it going to make sense? You know what? I think this one is going to make sense. This one is going to make sense. This one, okay. So from the Spellcast Beauty side, hey Dawn, excuse me, Lady Charlotte. This has a lot going on in here. But is there anything that I can't do with something else? So that the joy in this is just having it all in one palette. And the formula is smooth as butter. I love this formula. That's not going to be number one. We have Bella Tofana, which I really enjoy. Because it's smoky, except for this side. So like here, this is my smoke vamp right here. This, okay, we're just going to just, pop in some color. So this isn't going to be it. The mattes in here are really nice. The metallics are really nice. There's two wannabe flake monsters in here. The two is not bad. We have Neon Garden. One of the palettes that I ordered, it looks like it's a neon. And so when that comes in, maybe by the fall, then we will declutter this one. Because the other one has similar shades. The only thing it didn't have in there, I think, is not the greens. But this is Neon Garden. I do like having a bright palette. I do. Dark Side of the Rainbow. One of the palettes I ordered is reminiscent of this. Those palettes are 12 pan. And so this may get decluttered as well once the other stuff comes in, whenever it comes in. While you were listening, you scheduled to do. Okay, I put in my calendar. I did put the dates in my calendar, and I put a note for, I think, the 15th to schedule it, because I didn't want to send the link too soon and then it gets lost or something like that. But I'll go ahead and do that tonight. Send you the link for that. And so what I like about this is the the metallics. But are those colors that we don't have? We have this, that green brown shift. We have this, the blue purple shift. You see what I'm saying? And so the mattes are solid though. And none of these are chunk monsters. None of the metallics are chunk monsters. So this isn't going to be it. So what's going to make sense? That leaves us with Swamp of Sadness. Y'all, this ranked #1 out of all 33 palettes. And this is #1 from Spellcast Beauty. Look at the formula. Look at the mattes. Look at the metallics. This one gives me a little fallout from those speckles or whatever they are. But look at, let me get the glare off. Look at this formula. This is very soft, that same shift, that green to burgundy. But look at these metallics. Look how smooth they are. Y'all, this palette, the color story, the formula, the variety, both of these are not white. Only one I think is a white. One is, I want to say it's either green or pink, this one. But this formula is just so friggin' smooth, the same as one of the other ones, the same as Lady of Shalott. But just this color story, it's a condensed version of Lady of Shalott because you just have everything in it. That's a 30 pan palette. So this is my #1 for Spellcast Beauty, and it was ranked my #1 from all of the palettes that I have in general. So I feel good about that. Something makes sense. That's the only thing that made sense. That's the only thing that made sense. And so, notoriously morbid side, we have the Nightmare palette. The Merry Mean one I think is always going to be special to me because of that Grinch look. And that was the first look I did with it. So not even just a regular look. It was the Grinch look. Janessa added pink to her hair. Ooh, I want to see. So we have Life and Death. Bog Witch. Eternal Beauties. I'm going to tell you now, Eternal Beauties isn't going to be it because why are there 2 blacks and 2 reds and they show up exactly the same on me? I love this shade. Excuse me. This is another one that the formula is really smooth and this is a solid, formula. But this isn't going to be it. But this is definitely one of my Goth Grunge vampy palettes that we're going to roll back around to. I'm sure. I think. Did I write that down here? Yeah, I did. Yo, if I don't do notes. So this is not going to be my #1 for Notoriously Morbid. So that leaves us with the Nightmare palette. I know, just take this out, right? So that leaves us with the Nightmare palette. There's a lot to do in here, and there's a lot that I have not done yet with this palette. But it's not going to be... It should be my #1 because there's a lot to do in here, but it's not. And that doesn't have anything to do with the 2 hard pan shades. It's just something about it. Like, I need to use it more. Hence me still trying to condense my stash. So I'll use more and more of what I do have. Life and Death. I keep thinking to declutter this one. The formula is solid. Everything in here is smooth. Everything in here is super smooth. Everything shows up really well. When I use it, I love all the looks I did. But when I think about it, I'm just like, okay, some greens and reds. I'm like, But it's a beautiful palette. So I think it's safe to say this will probably end up being decluttered because I keep thinking to declutter it, but then when I look at it and use it, I'm like, girl, you tripping? But I be tripping a lot, so why is that anything new? You know what I'm saying? Dawn is saying you should go live after this, Janessa. Janessa, I think we spoiled the crew because we be tag teaming. I do a live and then you come on right after me. I think Dawn is spoiled right now, but I keep thinking to declutter this one. And then I look at it like, do I have these shades? Because this is a different type of, not quite burgundy or whatever. This is a nice bold shade. Everything in here shows up as it is in the pan. And it's really nice. The mattes are nice. So what I probably need to do is go through my palettes and ask myself, why do you really like this one? But because I keep thinking to declutter this one, I'm just like, why do I keep thinking to do that? You know what I'm saying? And Bog Witch and Merry Mean one. So where did these place on the list? Bog Witch placed Where is she placed? Does anybody else have trouble reading their own handwriting? Bog Witch. Okay, damn. Bog Witch placed 7 out of the 33. Mary Mean One placed 14. This is just near and dear to my heart. What would be really cool? Sorry for yelling. What would be really cool is this one gives me fallout. That's a pretty dual chrome, but that one gives me some fallout. What would be cool is these two reds in here. I just touched it. These two reds in here in this palette, even though the shimmers up here are really nice, especially this dual chrome when that's green and then it's not green. And this is more of like an orange fire shade versus this one. But if these two reds were in here, I think that would set it off. But I do really like these. Do I need to pair these palettes? Yes, I cannot read my writing. No one can. Says Janet. Grace is co-signing with Dawn. Janessa that you should go live after this. But LOL, I'm going to be live tomorrow for a Pride chat, but I might go live after this. I have the new Nomad palette as well. If you do go live, I'm going to catch the replay because I know I'm going to crash. I've been up since 9:30 this morning off of like 2 hours of sleep. You know what? Also, y'all, my TV will not open YouTube. I don't know why. The other day it wouldn't open YouTube, and so I said, okay, I'll watch something on Tubi. And then I went back and clicked for YouTube, and it opened up. But today I went back like 3 times. 3 times. Today I went back 3 times to go on YouTube on my TV, and it will not let me do that. I don't know why. It'll click it, but it'll never go to the page that say pick which account. So I don't know. Dawn says tomorrow I have to go learn how to work a robot lawnmower at the house I'll be staying at. I didn't sign up for this. You're a pet sitter. You gotta cut grass. But if these two reds were in here, I think that would. But then it's not. You know what? It would work because it's red on the front. So I think most of y'all might know which is ranking number 1. Even though it's not like the most unique. How is it? Not really. Kind of, sort of, but not really. So our number 1 for Notoriously Morbid is going to be Bog Witch. And this did rank number 7. We still have some remnants of this shade in here. This is just a beautiful palette. And I like that it does have, excuse me for the glare, that it does have that pink in there and this bright shade because it does, liven up the palette. Like if I don't want to go really dark, you decluttered Life and Death a while ago. Janet, you decluttered a lot of stuff a while ago. Janet is like a one and done. Use a palette and then declutter it. I respect it though because you use it. So this is my number 1 for Notoriously Morbid. It's just something about this color story. Even though I have the Yucca palette, the Yucca palette, and other stuff I can do, grunge looks with. This is it. That is it. All right, so I'm gonna put these away. So our last brand, excuse me. This wasn't over there. This was over here. Is Natasha. Can you stand up straight, please? Okay, something's out of place. Were you over here? Why are you not one? Our last brand is Natasha Denona. Yay. For Natasha Denona. That might be a little, you know what? That's going to be challenging because y'all know how I feel about the Yucca palette. Y'all know how I feel about Circle Loco. So that's where I'm going to kind of get stuck between those. Tan palette, I can say this. everyone who I watched said, oh, it looks better in person. They were right. It does look better in person. Lighting is everything. I took pictures and I sent to a friend, and depending on the lighting, it looks really pale. Like the one post they did where it looked like two different palettes. If you're in any kind of shade, it looks like a really dark, rich palette. If you under bright lights, it look washed out and dusty. And it's like, what's happening? Like, what? Wait a minute, is this the same thing? But it does look better in person. I'm not in a rush to do the swatch party because there's been so many already. So that's, I think I said this, I scheduled it for the 18th. I did that. So Natasha, Circle Local, y'all know I love this palette. Leela, Retro Glam, Yucca palette, Dream palette. I'm starting to really like this. I really am. Is it number one? No. So we're going to put that away right now. It's not number one. Xenon excites me. This is going to be difficult. Glam, I can use this any day, anytime to slap something on, it'll work. And that's what I think tan is going to be for me, is how glam is, where whatever I do is going to look nice. It's not messy. I can just put it on, not have to think too much and just get it done. But this is not going to be number one either. Retro Glam, excuse me, beautiful palette. Almost whatever I throw on, it'll look right. Excuse me, but it does have more different color options than Xenon. But Xenon excites me. Alexandria, she wanted me to lower my price, so I did. And then she added the Mo into it. I don't know how to say nicely that I'm a little... She got you. She got you, Dawn. Dawn, you done got. She want to lower the price and then give you something else to do. You're a pet sitter. You're not a lawn maintenance person. Since you're already locked into it, I wouldn't work for her ever again. Because clearly she took advantage of you. Oh, lower the price. Oh, yeah, by the way, cut the grass. Excuse me? Yeah, I wouldn't work for her again after this. And they had said something that they, well, who was it? In the class, in the program, she was saying some people will want to negotiate your price. And she said, never negotiate your price. She said, and every time that she negotiated her price, it turned out to be a disaster because the person just wanted more and more stuff. And so she was like, it is not worth it. She was like, do not, price your stuff at what you're valued at according to your skill set, your products, your tools, all of that. I would never work for her again. She took advantage of you. Don't ask her if she is paying extra for the robotic lawnmower. Maybe that might be why she lowered the price, because then the price will be back to where it was before you lowered it. Yeah, I think she really, don't plan on going back after this. 37 days? I know that's pricey, but it is 37 days. Yeah, it is what it is. I would never go back there again. She took advantage of you. To ask you to lower the price than you do, and then she say cut the grass. And I don't take you as the type of person that'll be like, you know what, never mind, I'm not going to take the job. Because I do know some people that would do that. They'd be like, you know what, cancel my whole shit. The nerve, the audacity. Something is not where it was because stuff is looking funny. But so we have left. I really like Leela. Leela is just solid. This formula, this old school formula, this is a solid palette. This is a solid palette, but it's not going to be my number one. From Natasha. So we're going to put that away. She took advantage of you. Fuck that. Nah. So we have Xenon, Circle Loco, and the Yucca palette, the Yucca palette. I don't think this will be number one. I'm not able to just pick it up and put something on unless I just want a basic smoky look. But I love it because it excites me. but this is not going to be number one. The only one I had planned out ahead of time was Future Flames. So the rest of these is just off the cuff right now. So we have the Yucca Palette, and Circle Loco. Circle Loco ranked 4, and the Yucca Palette ranked something. Oh, 8. So Yucca was 8 and Circle Loco was 4. I love this palette because this is my color story. And the formulas, except for like the sparkling foil, whatever that stuff is, you need to use Xenon soon. You should do a video. We should do a collab, Dawn. We can both do a look with Xenon. This looks like it's hard pan, but it's really not. And I keep thinking it is when I'm showing it to you and it looks like that, but that is not hard pan. It almost kind of pains me to say that this isn't going to be number one, because I do really love this palette. This is my color story. So number one for Natasha is going to be Circle Loco, which ranked number 4. And Glam actually ranked number 3. Because I can just slap it on. There you go. This is my number one from Natasha. It is just fun. I am always excited to use this palette. Always. This is fun. I can't just slap stuff on unless I just go monochromatic. But it is just, I am always just so excited to use this palette. Yeah, people love to take advantage more and more for less. Exactly. And on a smaller scale, I put a palette 28% discount, and then somebody wants to offer me like $8 less than that. Excuse me? It's already 28% cheaper than yesterday. And I know times are hard. I do. But it's like you're already getting a deal. Sometimes I feel like just throwing all that stuff in the garbage. I really do sometimes, because it's just sitting and y'all not like stuff to be used, so it's just going to sit there and die. But this, I am just always so excited, and I always feel so happy when I use this palette. This palette just does it for me. Can I just pick it up any day and put it on, like, you know, Glam or the Yucca palette or Retro Glam, any of the MAC palettes? No. But when I do pick it up, I drink those sakis. So this is my number one for Natasha, and out of the 33, it ranked number 4. All right, so now Nina's part of the request. Rank my Goth, Grunge, Vampy palettes. I wrote them down here that day when we went through it. So we have Eternal Beauty. So I'm going to take that back out. Bald Witch. Take that back out. Where did I put you? And you know what it's hiding from me? It's right here. Everything's right here. The Nightmare palette. I don't think it's going to be the Nightmare palette. I don't know. I really like it, but I don't know. Like I'm not excited to use it. There's a lot of options, a lot of variety in there, but I'm just not, like with Circle Loco, I'm like, ooh, Xenon, ooh. I'm just like, You need to break out your Natasha palettes. This is my sign. Yes, it is your sign. Which ones do you have, Alexandria? Oh, where am I? I gave my neighbor, she only wanted 2 curry patties. But when I got home, I still took out a little bit of rice. She doesn't eat a lot of carbs, so a little bit of rice, a few pieces of the curry goat, and 1 piece of, because it was 2 thighs, 1 of the jerk chicken. So I said, I'm giving you just a little bit to taste it. Because last time we went, we both had oxtails, and we were like, but they're oxtails now, like they're back where they were, if not exceeded where they were before. And so I told her, I said, I am so glad we're back to main dish, because oh my gosh. So she had just texted me because it came up across the top. She put, dinner was delicious, thank you. Oh my gosh. And I told her I didn't put any cabbage on her plate because I tasted the cabbage, and I just kept eating until it was gone. That cabbage was hitting, y'all. Dark Side of the Rainbow, that ain't going to be it. But we're going to rank them. Dark Side of the Rainbow. Grunge Life. Ooh. I'm so excited to see the look that Michelle did with this. You haven't checked Macari for makeup in a while. People were being kind of crazy about prices. And I just lowered mine because I just want this stuff to go, but I also don't want to be ripped off. Am I being ripped off though? Because it's makeup I don't use anymore. You know what I mean? But if I put it on sale, don't send me an offer for like $10 less than that when it's already like $10 less than it was yesterday. What did we take out? Grunge Life, the Yucca palette, the Yucca palette, the Cryptic. I'm definitely going to push to use this more, and we're using it for our Enchanted Forest look, which is also for, I feel like I said forest funny. Declutter system. You finally started using Bella Beauté Bar. Dead Rose is number 2, and guess what declutter the season is going to be? You're going to declutter it because you use your stuff and then you declutter it. That's what Janet does, and I appreciate it. She don't just be holding on to stuff forever just because. Cryptic palette. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What am I missing? Eternal Beauties. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Did I count wrong? Should be 8. Cryptic palette. The Yucca palette. Grunge Life. Dark Side of the... Oh, Swamp of Sadness. Okay. So Nina wanted me to rank these palettes. So these are my Grunge Goth palettes. The Nightmare palette was on there. I don't know where this falls. I really don't, because it's so... It does have... You can do Goth, you can do Grunge, you can do Vampy. So this kind of has everything. I just don't know why I'm not excited to use it. Like, I just don't know why. And I don't feel overwhelmed, you know, with the number of shades. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's the thing where the idea of it was better than having it. Because you see some, oh my gosh, I gotta have it, and you get it, and you're like, But this is wonderful, though. Is it the packaging? No, it's not the packaging. I actually like the packaging. Your collection is pretty good. I remember one time, Janet, you said you had like 50-something palettes on your dining room table you haven't even used yet. And I was like, oh my God. And you said it was still more stuff coming. I was like, wow. But you do eventually use your stuff and then you get rid of it and then use something else. Tanya asked you, Alex, if you have the gold or the tan. Alexandria has the minis and the new gold and the retro. Ding, ding, ding. Tanya is correct. I don't know, Janet going to use it and declutter it. No, so it's not the packaging. I don't. Maybe it's because it does have so many different aesthetics in here. Where Yucca palette, I know I'm going to get, you know, Swamp. Bog Witch, I'm going to get Swamp. Eternal Beauties, I'm going to get, you know, Vampy. Grunge Life, I'm going to get Grunge. And so it's like I already know in my mind, if I want this look, this is what I do. Where this one, because it gives me everything, it's just like... And I do really like it, though. So I really don't know. I'm going to make myself use this more, too. We're going to run through the Cryptic palette, and then we're going to run through this one. Because I do like it. I do like it. It's just... It's just like, And I was excited to get it. So as you can tell, that's not going to be... So I need to probably write this down. Where's my pen? Alright, so what's going to be number 8? We're going to put that one. We're going to put that one number 8, Nina. I know she's not here right now. And I don't have any place to start a new list. So number 8, the Nightmare palette. I do think as I use it more, I like it more. The same with Cryptic. Yes, it does. This is that Temu shirt from years and years and years ago. Y'all, this shirt is so soft. Yeah, this is that Temu shirt. This is a good quality shirt. However many years ago that was, and I washed it, put it in the dryer like numerous times. And oh, my paper, the fan blew it. It did not shrink. It held up. It doesn't wrinkle. Yep. Temu. Yep, it does. So the Nightmare palette is going to be number 8. Where is it on the paper? Here we go. So number 8. For the Nightmare palette. I decluttered Dead Roses one a while ago, so Dead Roses 2 is in the chat with a less interesting color story. There were 2 shimmers in it that are jewel worthy though. I'm thinking this isn't going to make sense. It's not going to make sense. We're going to put Dark Side of the Rainbow number 7. Even though it's beautiful, pick it up, get my grunge. But it's like I use like I'll use the whole palette and a look. Like it's not enough. And then we have, you know, this shade, that blue burgundy. We have the green burgundy brown. Like so it's the mattes are nice, but you know, we have mattes. And I'm looking at these now, and I'm thinking of the Unfiltered Nudes palette. This is different, a different shade than other stuff. And then we got on the Temu. Well, they had started sending me stuff, and again, this was years and years and years ago. What they are good for to purchase is if you need office supplies, like Post-it notes, ink pens, notebooks, binder clips, like that type of stuff is good. Hey, Dabri, how are you? I am not Cancer, I am Dion. And this here is the Crazy Troll Nation of YouTube. So this is going to be number 7. And even though I said like this has every aesthetic, but if I want like a certain aesthetic, this will give me that. But it's, I don't want to say it, but I'm going to say it. It's basic. But I do really love the color story. So that's going to be number 7. So Nightmare Palette, let me write this down. Nightmare Palette. No, that was Dark Side of the Rainbow. That's number 7. And that is on borrowed time. Whenever I get the new palettes in, I'm just hoping it's here by the fall. But that is going to be decluttered. But I'm going to wait. So at least I'll still have that color story for now in one palette. Oh, man. Yep, I remember when they let you choose some stuff. Yeah, and this was one of them. I still got the hoodie too. So like their shirts and their hoodies that I got from them were really nice. What? This is getting hard. This is getting tough. We only got 8. We're gonna put Eternal Beauties for number 6. The formula is so smooth. I do love the palette. It's just like, why don't they show up the same? Like, why are both y'all there? So we have our dark, we have our grunge, we have our vamp. So this is going to be number 6. I don't even know what else to say. Eternal Beauties number 6. This I have never thought to declutter. Like, not at all. Repetitious colors. Yeah, when you lock into your aesthetic, more or less, because, like, glam ain't my aesthetic, but I got that. But these being my grunge, goth, vampy palette, yes, they're going to be the same color story, or within, you know, the same family, so to speak. So we have Bog Witch, Swamp of Sadness, Yucca Palette, Grunge Life, and Cryptic. Fuck, this is hard. Oh, man. Fuck. Excuse me. Oh, good grief, Charlie Brown. We're going to put Cryptic next only because I still need to use it more. And I do feel like it'll rank higher across the board once I get some more looks under my belt. And not so much as using the powders for face stuff, but actual eyeshadow looks. I am confident of that. But for right now, that's going to be number 5. Cryptic is number 5. And that's the reason too, Tanya, that I did want to do a declutter. Like get rid of redundancy, keep stuff that I love. I do like everything I have, and a few things that I love, a few things like really super excite me. And then there's other palettes that I like a lot, but I just don't want to be without them, such as like the Lila palette, like stuff like that. Oh, you mean within the palette? Just those 2 blacks and the 2 reds, because they show up the same on me. Everything else in there does show up different. It shows up how it looks in the pan. So Cryptic is number 5. So we got Grunge Life, Bog Rich, Swamp of Sadness, and the Yucca Palette. Damn. This is hard. This is hard. This is hard. We're going to put number 4, the Yucca Palette. This is hard. And I was just looking at this with Bog Rich. Like, these would accompany each other very well because there's darker tones. Well, at least this bottom row is really dark. So that would look nice with the Yucca Palette, the Yucca Palette. Actually, this whole thing would. Even this yellow or this green here. But we're going to put the Yucca Palette. So this is more of like an amped up version of this, even though this is 9 shades and this is 15. I remember I was so excited to get this, and I still am excited to have it and to use it. But we're going to put that, where are we at, number 4? That kind of pains me a little bit because I really do like that palette. All of these I really like. That's what makes it more challenging to try to rank them. So Yucca Palette is at number 4. Okay. So we got these 3 left. Damn it. I think I know what's going to be number 1. Shit, y'all, this is hard. How do people do rankings like every week? They rank the palettes that they use for that week. How do they? Shit. We're going to put Bog Witch number 3. I love this little ass palette. And even though it's only 9 pans, there is variety in here. This shows up nice. This is bright. This adds to the palette. These are dark on me, so these are great for me. So even though it looks kind of monochromatic, it's really not. And I have these 3 dark shades. This is like a there not there shade. This one is bright. What's left in here? This is just, yeah, but this is going to be number 3. Bog Witch is number 3. Nina, you put me through because this is hard. Thankfully, it was only 8. So that's number 3. So we're left with Swamp of Sadness and Grunge Life. Yo, this is just a beautiful palette. There is variety in here. Damn it. And then there's this one. So these are the last 2. These are the last 2. This is hard. Damn it. We're going to do Grunge Life number 2. I just keep thinking of how smooth Swamp of Sorrows is, but these are smooth too. These take some work only because they're so soft. Like, you see them dips and stuff in there. Am I going to poke myself in the eye? Because of the because of the dips in here, but they show up beautifully. They show up beautifully, and everything else in here is like super smooth. This is a really good formula, but something has to be number 2 so that something can be number 1. So Grunge Life is number 2. It was almost 1 for a minute. I was going through it. This is going to be number 1 again. This just works. If I want to go like strictly darker, this quad right here. Want to have dark with a little, and that dual chrome and a little brightness that's there. If I want to be real bright and ethereal, use that quad over there. And then, of course, mix them up any way you want to. You can even do, you know, these 5 shades right here to do a look, or these 4 right here to do a look. You know what I mean? And so there are options in here. So Swamp of Sadness is going to be number 1. So it was number 1 out of all 33. It was number 1 out of brands, out of the Notoriously Spellcast Beauty brand, and it's number 1 for the Grunge Goth Vampy palettes. So that was the only one that was consistent. Excuse me for yelling. So just to backtrack, number 8 is the Nightmare palette. It is. It's colorful and it's playful, Tanya. I agree. You look like I'm enjoying the struggle. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not as confident that the more I use this is the more I like it, which is I'm confident about this one. Because this is all the way my aesthetic. Whereas this is all the way all of my aesthetics, the Goth, Grunge, and the Vampy. But when I think of a type of look to do, I think of a palette that gives me that and not one where I can do everything, which is why it doesn't make sense that it doesn't rank higher, because I can just use this one. You know what I'm saying? But that one is... Oh, that ain't even next. So, so that's the last one. This is number 8, is Nightmare palette. Number 7 is Dark Side of the Rainbow, that is on Borrowed Time. Number 6 is Eternal Beauties. It gives me my Vamp, but just those 2 shades are a waste because they look like another 2 shades. Where are we? Number 5 is Cryptic. Number 5 is Cryptic. Number 4, the Yucca palette. That pained me. And it's because it's muted. Where you look at Bog Witch and it's more bold. But this is still my cover story though. So that is number 4. Number 3 is Bog Witch. And number 2 is Grunge Life. And number 1 across the board is Swamp of Sadness. And so that's our rankings. Janet says she had owned 2 Jolie palettes in the past. Not a huge fan of the formula. I love the formula, just not those flake beast monsters from hell. It's like, what the fuck is that? But the other ones I like. Just that those 3 or 4 or 5 in there. They could keep that. But I am learning to work with them though. So I'm just trying to do that. So y'all, that is it for tonight. So kind of short, quick. I'm gonna eat a little bit more because they give you enough for like 3 meals, and I gave my neighbor some. Yeah, so that'll be it for the night. So I'm gonna put this stuff up, put my stuff back where everything was, eat some more, and I'm sure I'm gonna pass out because I'm exhausted. So that's gonna be it for the night, y'all. Thank you for being here. Tomorrow, I believe, is Janet's look. We're gonna do our face like it's denim. Excuse me. So that's gonna be a creative look. I need to figure out what I'm gonna use as far as oil base, water activated, or eyeshadows. And I haven't thought that out yet, but so we'll be back here tomorrow. So I appreciate y'all being here. Janessa's going to go live in a few minutes. You need a minute. Okay. I'm going to sign on, and then thumbs up, and then I'm sure I'm going to crash. I am exhausted, but I will watch the replay. And you know what? I'll let it run on my phone, too, so that'll give you more view time, because it's not going to pull up on my TV. So I'll run it on my phone while I'm watching a movie and eating and then sleeping, and then later I'll actually watch it. And so you'll get 2 views from me and that additional view time, watch time, excuse me. So we'll be back here tomorrow night to do Janet's look. I'm just like, what is it going to be? So I'm just I am excited to do it because it's something new, and I do like doing new things. But as always, replay crew, thank you. Thank you, Nina, for that request, and thank you to the other member for the anonymous request to pick my number 1s from each brand. Surprising to me, because none of them made sense except for Swamp of Sadness. But yeah, if you have any questions about the tan palette or what you would like to see me do with it in the swatch party, leave a comment under that post, because somebody asked me something about how does it compare to something. But if you would like to see comparisons from what I have, leave that under that post, and we'll do that. We're going to go. Make sure y'all tune into Janessa in a few minutes. And as always, self-acceptance, self-love, That is the crew. I want to show you my current makeup and skincare situation, which is not organized at all. And I would welcome suggestions on how to make it more accessible and make sense. No judgy though. What I'll say, Tanya, think about, and I am very organized. It's a blessing and a curse. If you think back to when I showed y'all my stash, I had, bronzers, blushes, highlighters right here. All of my lippies. One of the 12 slots, that's all Notoriously Morbid. Another 12 slot is all MAC. Another one is MAC and Blend Bunny. Eyelighters, that's separate. Jolie is enticing you, but you have not. That was my introduction to the brand. And Janessa, sneaky ass, she had purchased it and sent it to me. But take some inspiration, Tanya, from when I showed y'all my setup and how everything is and where it is, and see if that inspires you or gives you ideas on what to do for your own. And I do like things to have its own place. So that's why all the bronzers are together. And they're all House Labs. And so they're all the same size. Everything fits. And then the blushes, the eyes, so everything, you've seen it. So that's the only thing I could say is just categorize things in a way that makes sense to you. Yeah, because we're all different in how we store stuff. I think you might like the aesthetic, grungy and dark. Yes. I was drooling over it. I didn't know it had flake beasts in it though, but I'm learning how to work with them. That would be fun, Tanya. I love being nosy and seeing everyone's collections and how they organize. Yeah, so watch mine again and see if that inspires you, like how my setup. And I know it is very neat and everything is right here, so I don't have to hunt all over, my apartment to find stuff. But the most important thing is, though, I think, is to have your stuff set up in a way that makes sense to you. So that you're not, oh my gosh, where's this, where's that? Have stuff in a way where, my suggestion, have stuff in a way where if you want something, you know exactly where to go to look for it. Like even thinking of Janessa's lives when she's doing her declutters. She's like, oh, that's in the drawer down there. And then she takes it, like she knows where everything is. And it makes sense to her, like where her stuff is, where it is. And so, because it needs to make sense to you. And so you'll know where to go to get it. And if neatness is a thing for you, that's another thing. And that's why I like stuff to be consistent, organized, everything look nice. Yeah, so I'll just leave that there. And yeah, as always, self-acceptance, self-love. That is the Crazy Donation way. I'm going to eat some more, crash out while Janessa's playing in the background. And you all will see me tomorrow. Thank you, guys.